Baby, 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 baby. Baby, 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 baby. Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be doing a live review of the new remix package for Trampa's album, Disrespect. Yes, here we go finally, remix package for one of the most celebrated bass albums of the year so far, debut Trampa LP, Disrespect. And yeah, just looking at the track list here, what I like again, what Never Say Die I've gone for here, and Trampa as well, of course, in putting this together, is that we've got each original remixed just once, and they are in the order of the original album. So yeah, just gives a bit of a parallel experience with that original LP, and yeah, just think it's cool. And I'm looking forward to it. Again, just looking through this, we got some big talent on show, some good names, and yeah, just looking forward to getting into it. Beyond that, just had a shower, feeling fresh, feeling clean, but now I've got my Never Say Die top on, and it's time to get filthy. It's time to get down and dirty once again with the dubstep, with the other kinds of bass we're gonna get here on this remix package. But yeah, 10 tracks here, of course, just like the original LP, and I'm hearing them all here for the first time, providing comment along the way as per with this kind of video. But yeah, you know how we do by now. Let's go. Kicking off here with the Odd Profit remix of the title tune. Pretty manic, classic Odd Profit right there in that first drop. Oh! 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 Oh, that is mean! Enjoying this one quite a bit so far. It's just vintage Odd Profit. The production sounds good overall. She's got that beefed up feeling to it. But Oi! Oh! Oh my! Oh my god! Oh! But damn! Fuck me! That was fantastic! I really enjoyed that. Damn, just so good to hear someone thinking outside the box like that. And not doing just that, but also weaving in his own style quite clearly, I think, which we did get, of course, in the first drop and in the first half of the tune. Yeah, the introduction was good. I think reworking the main vocal sample very well. And the little chugging kind of build we got there as a kind of extension of the introduction I thought was very good. And set the tone in the atmosphere very well. I think the first drop we got, quite manic, but not doing too much. There were definitely parts initially where I thought, you know, maybe conceptually not doing quite enough, but I think it's one of those drops that I'm going to enjoy quite a bit as I hear it more and more, you know, just kind of immersing oneself more and more in the image that that kind of drop provides, you know. Doesn't have to do too much because of how prehistoric it sounds, you know. Then we've got that fucking breakdown in the second half, which, I mean, not entirely surprising, you know. I'm not like, this is completely out of nowhere. We did get a bit of it on his recently released EP, Oracle, which did have a bit of that, you know, a bit of experimentation, a bit of breakdown, a bit of just rock and metal kind of influence, and we do get that again here. Woven that into a remix format, and, you know, just taking those elements from the original and reworking them in that innovative way within the grand context of bass music. It's the kind of thing that we don't hear very much of, and it's very welcome. So, yeah, putting his own stamp on it, both conceptually and with his design. The production's good as well in the heaviest moments. You know, I think in the past couple of years there have been quite a few tracks from him that have felt just a bit flat in that way, but on that front, for me, this is one of his best tracks in quite a while, and with the concepts to match, I think, yeah, we're looking at one of the most impressive Odd Profit tunes in a couple of years, in my opinion, in your boy's humble opinion. So yeah, quite a tough act to follow, a big remix to kick off here, and yeah, on point, on profit. Good stuff to start this remix package. Next up, we have the Link remix of Generals. Whee! There we go. Okay. Oh! 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 Oh, that evil! Ah, give it to me. So far maintaining that evil, nasty, twisted feel of the original really well, but, you know, in a quicker beat, in a quicker tempo, which is cool. Oh, okay! Yeah, pretty good, pretty solid. Quite simple, but definitely shining in little parts here and there, just making it quite emphatic. I think, in particular for me, just when each drop comes in from what I remember, definitely the first one, if not the second one as well, just quite an evil, deep, grungy, kind of earthy feel to it. And I do wish that it carried on with that for the most part. You know, there are other moments here in each drop where it just feels a bit more commercial and a bit more poppy within that house format, and that does take away from the evil that we get, which I wish he could have run with just a little bit more and made it that bit more kind of sinister and menacing, which I think would have paid much more of a, well, more effective of an homage to the original, which, as we all know, is very, you know, down and dirty, and grisly and gritty and all that kind of thing. I do appreciate the bits of variety we get within this house format. For me, yeah, did just want that evil to really run its course and let itself be known for the most part, for the majority across this tune. But it is a good tune, well put together, structurally on point. Again, reworking the vocal very well, and definitely capturing the evil of that original tune in parts in a very effective way, as I said. So yeah, not amazing, you know, not very, not one that I can imagine I'm going to go back to loads, but it does have its good moments, and it is put together very effectively. So yeah, cheeky little house number there from Link. Then we have the Killfeed remix of Pull Up. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, ooh, okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes. Yup, yup. Come on. Ooh. The snare, fam! Oh! Oh! Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Bruh! Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Fucking hell! That right there, definition of short but sweet. I don't think I could have added anything to that to make it better, if I'm being honest, you know, for what it's going for there. Just doing everything right. Production, the idea, the layout, the arrangement, the awareness of when to kind of, you know, switch something up and do something a bit different. Ooh, what's that? Little something just flying around there. But anyway, from the introduction, just, you know, again, that thing of working in elements from the original in Killfeed's own way, then bringing in the vocal sample, the main one just before the drop, if I remember right. The pull-up one, yeah, very good. And then the drops, I mean, fucking so clean. That snare, sensational, so sharp, so refined. You know, each sound can be heard so well. The space and the gaps between everything going on there is just so well placed. And it's got that jumpiness to it, that bubbliness, while just keeping it, you know, all the while, you know, it's very on its feet, but it's still got that devilishness, just kind of rooting it and making it evil and sinister and all that. And, you know, little bits of unpredictability here and there, just keeping you guessing as to what's going to happen next. So not in any way, I would have to say, just, you know, leaving those ideas to kind of hang out and dry a bit and overstay their welcome and just go on for too long, just there for the perfect amount of time. And yeah, it's one of those where I'm kind of struggling, having heard it once, to pick it up for anything or just highlight drawbacks here, because yeah, again, having heard it once, I can't quite see them at the moment. Maybe they'll become more available when I hear it again. But yeah, for now, I'm enjoying that one a lot. The 3 before that we've had already, they've been very good. So quite a tough act to follow for the final 7 that we've got here. Moving on, we have the Ivory remix of Signal. Ooh! Ooh! Okay. Ooh. Wow! Oh! Give me that flavour, boy! What I love about Ivory recently is that he's been, you know, experimenting a couple different genres here and there, attempting different styles, and that's carrying on here. And again. This expert stuff, the dip into that, the transition, just so perfectly done. Bellissimo. Another very good remix, has to be said, and just gonna build on that thought that I had earlier and what I said earlier, in that, yeah, Ivory, he's been experimenting with genre and style quite a lot recently. We had the Bleep Bleep leaning kind of EP, and then in the one before that he also put out this year on Never Say Die, there was a bit of experimentation on that as well. So yeah, you know, his style, his aesthetic, his design, ravenous and gnarly and quite sinewy, stretchy, all of that. And that remains here, which is good. But yeah, just in a different format with that D&B, and then it was kind of glitch hoppy, but I wouldn't call it quite that. Just a bit, you know, not quite as hoppy, a bit more kind of straightforward with the layout of percussion and whatnot, whilst still being quite hoppy. So yeah, not quite, I wouldn't quite go as far as calling it glitch hoppy, but it did have that kind of hop and a skip to it. It's great. I love that he has the freedom to do that and experiment in that way and do what he wants with his sound that he has, of course, honed over many years now. But yeah, just having these little bits of experimentation here and there and leaving the listener guessing as to what we're going to get from him is just it's a fantastic thing to do. You know, you don't want to be predictable out here. You don't want people going into your music just kind of knowing what you're going to get, which I must admit he did run into a little bit maybe a year or so ago, when we had a bit of a stretch of a few years from him where a lot of, well, not a lot of, but quite a few tunes from him did sound quite similar. So yeah, for me, was getting a little bit stale, his style, but definitely freshening it up here, which is just great to hear. And yeah, just love that he does have that freedom with his creativity. Of course, it's awesome. Another good remix here. We're looking at a very good first half of this compilation. Yeah, good stuff. After that, we have the Junkie remix of Your Love. Is this on a remix competition? Is this the one that won? Am I imagining that wrong? Oh, yep. Yeah, we've heard this one before. That octave changed. Oh, you got to love it. I can't tell you enough how well that's done. Like, it's a simple idea, but the effect of going up and down octaves with the same idea, the same sound, it can work wonders. Like, that's a perfect example. Is it changing octave or is it changing key? I think it's changing octave. Pretty sure. Oi. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Another quite good example there of simple but effective. You know, the idea is just that prodding, do, 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 and then it just goes through little changes here and there with octave or key. I think it's octave. Pretty sure it's octave. If it's, you know, if it's key, do let me know below, but pretty sure, unless my mind is playing some kind of trickery on me. But yeah, I think it's octave. Just going up and down, same kind of layout, same kind of notes. And then the second half, I think, for me, you know, is a little bit slower, a bit more clunky, you know, is kind of falling over itself just a little bit more, doesn't quite have that flow that the first drop has. But that being said, I do appreciate the change here and the fact that you do have to keep it a bit spicy in that moment, in that second half, and just, you know, freshen things up just a little bit. Keep the listener guessing and whatnot. So yeah, even though for me, that second half, not quite as free-flowing, I do appreciate the fact that it had to be done, and those little changes with respect to the idea itself and what we got in the first half, yeah, you do have to make them. And the hope here, I think, is just you know, Junkie, who's a bit of an up-and-comer, just gets a bit more coverage and a few more chances at the highest level. The idea is very well presented, production's good, and it's emphatic for what it's going for, without doing all that much. So yeah, that is another good one here. Very intrigued as to how the following 5 are gonna follow suit. But yeah, looking forward to that right now. Moving on, we have the Neonix remix of Sickhead. Some fat bass right there. Yeah, that was alright. Not that much to say about it for me, if I'm being honest. I think, you know, I did enjoy the little changes that we got from one drop to another. I think that was good. They were quite subtle as well, so yeah, effective in that way. The fact that I heard them, even though they were quite minuscule, if you know what I mean. And also, I think the layering here, the general just arrangement that was going on here was very good as well. How sounds were kind of stacked on top of one another. But the ideas, I don't know, not getting that much out of them, not really remarkable in any way for me. Just feels like something that I've kind of heard before. Quite industrial, quite clangy. And there were points as well where it got a little bit overbearing, I think, in the progression of each drop. Yeah, just a kind of combination of squeals and very harsh, just mechanical kind of sounds that got quite a lot, you know, almost a bit too much for me, I would have to say. But yeah, aside from that, there were other parts, I think, in the first half of each drop they're a bit more colourful. So yeah, having that contrast was quite good. Just all right, I would have to say. You know, not remarkable in a way that I'm gonna remember that much from it, but also not, you know, I'm not sat here saying that it's bad, or, you know, I'm not going to talk about it overly negatively, because yeah, it just, for me, just kind of sits in the middle of being just fine. That's what I would have to say about it, both with the ideas and the production. So yeah, that's going to be my thoughts on that one. After that, we have the Ivy Lab remix of All Night, and this is probably my favourite original from the album, so interested as to how they're going to do it, how they're going to refashion it, if you will. Oh! Oi! I mean, fucking hell. This is definitely what the compilation needed. Just something a bit out of left field. No, like, focal moments or, you know, sections to kind of rest the track on. Nothing like stealing the limelight here. It's just continuous, free-flowing, rhythmical, stream-like. Love it. Just going to go back to what I said earlier, that for me is the best refashioning and reworking of original elements that we've got so far, in my opinion. Just so cleverly done. And I just know for a fact there are going to be people out there hearing this album, watching this video, whatever, who are going to be like, oh, but where's the drop? You know, where's the focal moment? Where's that, you know, big release of heavy sound? But if you know Ivy Lab, you will know that that is very much just a vintage performance from them right there. Down and dirty, gritty, and earthy. You know, words I've used before for another tune, but I think it goes into overboard here on that front, on those fronts. You know, really got that deep and dark and devilish feel to it. And yeah, just not having any section steal the limelight or have too big a part to say in the tune overall. Not having the whole song kind of framed and centered around that, and instead giving it this very, you know, nasty, stream-like flow that just really lets the tune just kind of seep into your body and become a part of you as you hear it as it goes on. The vocal, giving it space, giving its part in the tune overall, and just placed here and there in perfect ways at the perfect points. It is just classic Ivy Lab. It's got them stamped all over it, and yeah, just got those little elements from the original dropped in very well, and yeah, just providing as well, I think, which I did mention earlier, just a very welcomed kind of change structurally for this compilation at this point. You know, before that track, we've just got banger after banger after banger, you know, different genres, of course, but yeah, all kind of framed and centered around the drops. But here, just got that bit more flow, that bit more rhythm for the compilation overall. Just think it is good to have it at that point. Yeah, good stuff there from Ivy Lab. Moving swiftly on, we have the Mustang remix of Shank. Okay! Yeah, nice. I mean, yeah, just experimental 2021 Mustang in full flow there, basically. Ooh. Ooh. damn. Okay. The jump of that, in combination with the pace of it, just gets the shoulders going. Yeah, that for me again, just 2021 Must Die in his element, if I'm being honest. Yeah, just letting his style loose and doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, which is fantastic. You love to hear it, basically. It was a combination of quite a few different styles, if I'm being honest. You know, initially with the heaviness, I thought, you know, maybe this is a little bit of a techno vibe. I think it was a bit quick for techno, but it had that, you know, that pounding kick right at the forefront. You know, the more it went on, I think, yeah, it kind of went away from that, got into a bit more of a speed house kind of situation. You know, very on its feet, frivolous, and yeah, very pacey. Did enjoy that quite a lot. You know, completely unexpected, I'm going to have to say. But then again, maybe I should have expected it, because Must Die, again, as we all know, from Crisis Vision, he's been doing quite a bit of that. You know, the ravey, quite upbeat style, and he does it very well, I would have to say, and that is very much replicated here. And the second drop as well, we get a bit of a, what is it, a hard style kind of thing, again with the kick right at the forefront, but it's got that echoey big room kind of appeal to it as well. And then going back into a bit of a speed house thing in the second half of that second drop. So yeah, quite a lot going on here conceptually, and all feeling as well at the same time like it is tied together very well. One thing for me that maybe was a bit lacking, maybe just a little bit, was direct taking from the original, and that might be just a bit of a reflection on the fact that the original doesn't have that many kind of stick out or stand out moments. Not sure if it's got, like, you know, a vocal that's very memorable, but you know, there weren't many moments there where I thought, yeah, that's right from the original. But that might be about the original. Again, it might be a thing of that original not having that many, you know, standout moments per se. I think aside from the heaviness, the other sections were good as well. The introduction was a very epic way, quite classic and typical of him, of introducing it, and really got you in the mood. And I remember it winding down quite well as well, just from having heard it once. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, I do remember that. It's got a very continuous feel to it for the amount that is going on again. So yeah, good stuff from Must Die. And now going into the final two on this comp. And penultimately, we have the Achios remix of Back to Me. Where's this gonna go? Oh! 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 That is mean! Oh! 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 Breaking up the beat a little bit there. Where's this going, man? Drop or build? I think it's a drop, you know. Okay. Probably the most unexpected in terms of what Achios go for here. The difference and the switch up in styles, in genre, and also the way that the vocal was kind of manipulated and worked with in that remix. I think, you know, pitched up in a kind of uncomfortable way, but it did work. I think, you know, there were points where it had a real glow to it, and a resonance to it, and a color to it that was beautiful, that we got in parts of each drop there. Very good, just gave it a kind of luminescence, which was beautiful, in amidst the dark sections that we got with each drop. I am sat here just kind of trying to rack my head around it. That switch from, you know, very, very sharp and detailed and refined D&B, you know, very grisly, very just sharp and clean, you know, really incisive, gets right in your head, kind of sawing through your skull and all that kind of thing. And then just dipping into that, what was it, like a deep, speed housey kind of drop. very underwatery in feel, and just kind of really plunging you deep below into the depths of the music, if you know what I mean. Really out of left field, like did not expect that at all, and to the extent, as you saw when I was reacting to it right there, that I didn't know if it was a build or a drop when it came in. I think only as it went on did I kind of realize what was going on, that it was indeed a drop. I think it's one that has thrown me off quite a bit, and to the extent that I'm going to have to hear it quite a few times just to get used to it, and what goes on, how it develops, the direction of it, the choices that are made here and all that. But, you know, I do come out of hearing it thinking, fuck, yeah, again, it is just an artist feeling free and liberated in doing what they want to do with their design and with their style, their aesthetic and all of that. So different for Akeos, but in many ways what they are all about. So yeah, still gonna say good stuff. And finally here today we have the Bad Clark remix of Illest. Ooh! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! That was a pretty powerful way to finish off here. I mean, not the most out there, wild, memorable, or just wow factory kind of drops, I would have to say. You know, quite to themselves in terms of what they were going for. But you know, the way they were done, the way they were put together, produced, was very good. In spite of the ideas not doing all that much. And, you know, even in saying that, conceptually, with it not being that out there and that particularly memorable, I think it did have those little, you know, clinks and clanks and those little jumpy moments that kept it on its feet. Those are the little earworms, I think, that are going to stick in your mind and make you remember it. Yeah, just, you know, having the tune, having the idea, just jump about in those little ways, keeping it exciting, which was good. Because maybe, I think, if it didn't have that, it would maybe run the risk of, you know, just, you know, trudging on a little bit and droning on and not having enough kind of energy and excitement to it, and just, yeah, just going on with the same kind of thing again and again and again. With that being said, I think the overall idea here is good. The weight of those drops, the gravitas going on here, just very punchy and clean as well. I think the risk, of course, with something like that, and which Bad Clark has gone for quite a few times the last couple of years or so, is just that thing of it becoming a bit too stodgy to the point where the percussion's all overblown and the ideas are just a bit aimless and directionless and not really just having an idea kind of shining through. But here, it's all cleanly done, and it's got just that presence of being, you know, in the tune overall. Just comes across as being more refined and sharpened the more he is putting out tunes, which is cool, which is awesome. Again, a bit of a stark contrast from a lot of stuff that he was putting out maybe last year and the years preceding that. So yeah, I'm all here for it. That level of quality from Bad Clark. But yeah, nice little way again to finish off here with this remix package for the Disrespect album from Trampa, which is a good remix compilation and definitely one of the best of the year so far in bass music, gonna have to say it. You know, good variety and more than enough different styles here across the 10 tunes, and just a very high production quality as well, which I think is quite hard to come by when we're talking about a compilation overall. You know, you might get maybe half or a third that are very well produced and have got that high, you know, production quality, as I said, but I think here, pretty much for the whole thing, maybe a couple that don't quite hit the mark on that front, but almost entirely just the production value here, the quality is just very high. The standard is really on point on that front. So yeah, that is good. And we get mostly good ideas as well, I think, to back up that production quality. And some great ones at that, kind of going that next, that next level up. There is a lot of ambition here, different styles that we maybe haven't heard before as well on Never Say Die, so very good to hear those on the label as well. Those that I'm not that massive on out of the 10, I think for me being well in the minority, for me, I would have to say. So yeah, a lot of good here, definitely, for sure, in this remix compilation. It's a very good one, and again, one of the best I've heard this year so far, for sure, in bass music in 2021. And on that note, I'm going to have to go through my favourites right here in order. So we got the Odd Prophet, the Killfeed, the Ivory, the Ivy Lab, and the Must Die. So yeah, half which I am very, very excited about. And then of the ones remaining, I think there are still quite a few there that I am very much looking forward to hearing again. So yeah, this is a good compilation, and now want to hear what all of you guys think. So drop your thoughts down below. Which tracks are your favourites of the whole thing, of the 10, and also what do you make of the remix compilation overall? But yeah, drop your thoughts, your opinions, your views, that's the word I was trying to get out of my mouth. But yeah, drop it all in the comment section down below. And beyond that, keep it naughty, and if it's naughty, then you know. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.